So welcome to the first Bootcamp session, and excited about what we did this morning, but what we're going to do is really dive into some things you can really take back with you. And Rodney had to give me something that salespeople are real bad at, which is listening. That's the first thing he gives me, is listen and hearing. And we all think we hear, but you managers in here and owners can attest that salespeople don't hear as much as they think they hear, or they hear what they want to hear a lot of times. And sometimes we don't hold our customers to the same standard. We think they're just going to hear us the first time. Right? Doesn't that work with your kids and your pets and your wives? That works with their husbands. It don't work with nobody. But we think it's going to, I told them it once, I swear. And we think it's going to work. See, we found in the science that's out there that what happens is there's so many studies out there that show how many times you should repeat your messages. What you should do, say it again. Messages are more effective when they're repeated. Think about it. How long y'all with a customer? An hour and a half? An hour? 2 hours? 3 hours if you just talk forever? Gene, you probably there 5 hours? You know you can talk. You know, we're there 2 hours, hour and a half, and we say something one time, and we expected them to learn it. That's like bringing a puppy home and being like, hey, man, don't poop on the carpet. And then be like, oh, he's learned. It doesn't work that way. You know, I got a 3-year-old. She don't listen to nothing I say. This really resonates with me. Because what I want you to think about is so many companies out there have done it. And done it with things that don't make a lick of sense. Let me tell you what. Check this out. Nike. If you think of Nike, what do you think? Just what? Do what? What are you doing? Do you know? Does anybody know? Besides paying $200 for shoes, what are you doing?
Getting active.
You are getting active. You got a pair of Nikes?
Probably.
Are they active? You said probably. That means no. They're not active, right? I got plenty of Nikes. They sit in my closet. They don't do nothing but sit there in the closet with the $200 I spent on them. Happens all the time. We just do it, right? Come on, man, just do it. I don't know what I'm going to do, but I'm going to do it. But that's in our head. Like, we don't have to think about that. What about this one? Geico. What do they tell you? 15 minutes could what? Save you 15% or more on your car insurance. How many of y'all got Geico in here? Anybody? Do you save 15%? Are you sure you do? You don't have no clue if you say 15%. You're sure you do, aren't you? Because they told you you do, so it feels good, right? That's why I'm with Geico. I got 15% off. It's not even true. How crazy that there are billion-dollar corporations advertising all the time on TV, saying some stuff that may or may not be true, and we believe it. We don't even check. This is the best one for me, because y'all might know I like to gamble a little bit. So they say in Las Vegas, what? What happens in Vegas, what? Stays in Vegas. No, it doesn't. If you win $20,000 in Vegas, you told everybody you know about it. If you went out and hooked up with a chick, you told all your friends about it. Dude, what they should change, what happens in Vegas, you tell everybody about. I went here, I went there. Oh, I went to this show. It was awesome. Da, da, da. I won this money. The only thing you don't tell somebody about that happened in Vegas is you got killed and lost a bunch of money. That's the only thing you don't tell. You gamblers know what I'm talking about. What they should change that to is like, I'm sorry if I offend y'all, but like what happens in West Virginia stays in West Virginia. That's what they should change it to. Because nobody needs to know what happens there. But Vegas, you need to tell me what happened. These things have been emblazoned into our head until we believe them. They have become something that is almost associated with the product or the place. And we don't know why. But we figured out why. See, what we figured out is it's something called effective frequency. Okay? Effective frequency. So the definition of effective frequency is in the bilimbic sales system. The effective frequency is the number of times a person must hear a message before it is believable. We're getting there. What do you sell? You sell roofing. You tell your customers that you do roofing better than other people?
Yes, sir.
Then why doesn't everybody buy from you?
They don't hear enough.
Okay, hold on. If it worked and you didn't have to say it over and over again, if you said it once, it should what? Oh, just click. It just works, right? I told them they should go with it. It doesn't work that way. You know why? Because people are skeptical. So saying it once doesn't matter, even though we think that's what we need to do. But I said it on that one slide, right? And we walk out, it ain't my fault. I said it once. I swear, they just don't believe me. Freaking bad leads. See, what we came up with, and Rodney and I sat down, what we worked up what we call the power of 7. Rule of 7 is that whatever you are trying to accomplish in your hour and a half or 2-hour demonstration, right? Because we don't, and really for most of y'all it's an hour. Because we don't sell before when? I hope you sell before the pre-close. Close rate gonna be bad. We don't sell before step 4. We're not selling product, we're not selling our services, we're not selling what we're selling before step 4. So your step 4 to step 7 is probably something like 30 minutes to an hour for most of you guys. So in 30 minutes to an hour, we want you to subscribe to the rule of 7. And you can use it to accomplish a lot of things. Believe me, personal and professional. If you want your laundry done, repeat it 7 times. I've tried it. Don't tell my wife, she's out there. I've tried it. It works. If you just keep talking about laundry, eventually it just gets picked up and cleaned. At least in my world it does. But if you just you said it once on Tuesday, and then you wait 3 weeks and then go, remember I told you to do the laundry, what you gonna get? Girls, what you gonna get? If I tell you one time and then tell you 3 weeks later and say, what's the matter with you? Didn't you remember I told you to do the laundry? That's what you're gonna get. Do your own damn laundry. That's what you get. So when you go, where do we do this as salespeople? We wait till the close, and they go, well, I want to check out so-and-so. And you go, well, I told you. We do the same thing. The same thing they're saying. Man, you got to get another estimate. Estimate on what? And then does it go good from there? Hey, does that laundry conversation go very good? Nobody wins. Customer doesn't win. You don't win. You're just sitting there. So what we say is what we have to do is use the rule of 7 to help our chances of becoming believable. And we have to say it multiple times. Let me show you what I'm talking about. And let me talk about, in these breakouts, we're going to talk about 2 of the biggest things that we polled you guys and asked you guys over and over again. And we wanted to find the 2 biggest things that really are hard for you guys to deal with. What we found is the 2 biggest things are we always get 3 estimates no matter what. We've been married for 88 years, and one time we bought a lawnmower without another estimate. Was the worst lawnmower on the planet. We know that's one. A very, very difficult and common objection to have to deal with. And the last one is the doozy that nobody wants a part of. And that's, you're twice the price of the other guy. What am I supposed to do? They're selling quartz countertops too. They're twice as much as I am. I'm twice as much as them. Well, I wouldn't buy from me either. What? They're selling the same bathroom. You making me charge $800. They're only charging $600 for the toilet. No wonder I can't sell nothing. Because it's a shingle. I mean, everybody else is eating the deductible. I got to charge them for upgrades? What the heck? How are you supposed to sell those? Let's talk about these two things. The first one I want to talk about is estimates. And estimates is a big one. So let's first talk about how we get through effective frequency and how you need to use it. Because you can't use it over and over and over again. And we have a process. You guys that came to the boot camp last year, y'all learned the process. Who came to the boot camp last year? What was it called, Ramon? What? UAC was the process. UAC, the U stands for understand, A stands for alter, C stands for convert. That is how we handle objections and change them into what we want them to be. Understand, alter, convert. But see, most people pitch this slide. Who's got a map on their slide in their slideshow? You got a map on your slideshow? I knew you'd volunteer first. You ain't been here before.
Oh, I don't want to.
Go ahead and pitch that map slide.
Oh, really?
Really?
We haven't even been doing this that long.
I don't care.
All right.
You doing it now? We're getting better then. If you ain't been doing it that long,
I've only done it twice.
we'll fire John if you mess up. So don't worry.
Okay.
All right, so right here you will see a slide of ours says 50,000 people we've serviced in the Tampa Bay area. They're people just like you. They went out, did their due diligence, got estimates, and all of them actually came back to our company.
Okay. Not bad. If you're the customer, what do you think? No, that's not what she said. Hold on, what'd she say? She worked for 50,000. So she definitely hit the part that the slide actually means, right?
Work for a lot of people.
We hit that part. That they work with 50,000 customers. That makes you feel like what?
They work for 50,000.
That's a big, pretty good sized company, right?
Yeah.
But if my objection is I'm getting other estimates, did she get around that?
Nope.
Because what'd she tell me? She told me that most of the time when what? People just go ahead and get their other estimates, but they what? Come back. So when I get to the end, if I say, well, okay, well, let me get my other estimates and I'll come back to you, whose fault is it? Is that what you want them to do?
No,
No, what do you want them to do?
to buy from you right then and there.
Well, tell them you want them to buy from you right here and now.
No, I haven't learned that.
Hold on a second. Oh. You can't be a woman and tell me you ain't told somebody when you want something now. Ever.
I tell people I want something now. I
Okay.
do it my way, of course.
Okay, so are customers people?
Well, yeah, in the
So you know how to do it then?
I do it in the showroom, but in the homes I haven't gotten there yet.
Why? You scared of them people?
No, not at all.
I'm from Tampa. They ain't that scary.
Oh, you'd be surprised where I walked into the past two.
Oh, them past two always get
It's
me.
just two that I've been in, but it's been a little rough.
It's been a little rough
Yeah,
in their home, but in the showroom they're totally different people, right?
it's so different.
What do you mean?
I don't know.
Because
I
the
can't
because
explain.
the floors
Yeah,
are cleaner.
Slabs, and they can see the machinery, and it's
The
just
machinery
Yeah,
that makes you able to ask them to do something.
they're pretty impressed when they see it.
Oh, so you're saying the stuff sells it for you when they come in the showroom?
Yeah.
Okay, so do we need?
Do we what?
Do we could just have anybody in there then? Because it already sells it when it comes in the showroom, right?
Well, not all the time.
Oh, not all the time.
Most of the time.
All right, so I want you to think about this, right? Our own perceptions of what we hear are making us do things. She did a great job pitching the slide, talking about we have 50,000 customers. We've been doing this a long time. People love us, which is a great way to pitch a slide. I would say How many people have a slide like that or a map of some sort in their presentation? Most people in here. How many of y'all would pitch and say, we have a lot of customers in your slide somewhere? Here's the thing. Are you accomplishing what you're trying to accomplish? Let's try somebody else. Huh. Somebody I don't know that knows this crap already. You know I'm coming for you. I mean, I've been called worse.
All right, Mike, so what we have here is actually just an example of how many customers we've serviced in your area. And what's really neat to tell right now, which you can't, I'm nervous now, what's really neat here is most of these folks were in your similar situation, looking at other estimates, but after coming to the home with Leaf Guard, they ended up buying from us the same day.
Okay. Better. Better. All right. Let me hear what you got, Dave.
This is a map of other customers in the area. We've got over, 50,000 customers in the area that we've worked with that were in a similar situation to yours. And we found that once people see this and realize we've serviced that many customers, they don't even want to get other estimates.
Better. Better. Still not. Hey, we're talking about it. We're dancing on it. Ramon, hit him with a UAC. Yeah, other estimates.
Hey Mike, earlier you shared with me that you wanted to go get some other estimates, and here in Tucson, in the surrounding areas, we've done over 3,000 homes, and so most people, when they see the amount of people that have done business with us, most of them don't really decide to go get other estimates as long as we can make it affordable and fit it in their budget.
All right, so that's UAC. Understand the problem. I know you said you were planning on getting other estimates, but when people see the people we've helped, 50, hundreds of thousands of people, I mean, hundreds of thousands of people can't be wrong. When they see that, they usually decide not to get other estimates. As long as we can fit in their budget, they go with us. Does that make sense? I can. Okay. So what UAC, first thing you got to do is understand the objection. And you got to bring it out to them so they remember what the heck they said earlier. Because most of them done forgot it. Understand is, hey, Mr. Jones, I know earlier you said whatever they said. In the where? Transition questions. Then what we do is we use the slide to talk about why that might not be the best idea or why they don't need to. In this case, the fact that we have 50, 100,000, 3,000, 10,000, I don't care how many you have, 2 customers that have already gone with us, gone through the process, and love us. Make sense? And then the end, we want to convert it back to something we can handle, which is what, Austin? Price. See, we can handle price. Let me ask you something. If every lead you went on, they said, listen, if the price is right, I'll buy it today. How many of them would you sell? Maybe not all of them, but more than you are now.
You just said they're going to buy it today.
If you could get them to think that, that's what this does. People say, how are you closing the 80s? Because I do this. 20% of people are knuckleheads. I don't want them anyway. They're them jobs you beg to have and wish you never did. Those jobs. Engineers, if y'all engineers, whatever. Chad. All those jobs. So what we need you to do this the right way. Now this is only one time. What's our rule? 7. Rule of 7. Here's another part of the rule, guys. It can't be back to back to back to back to back. You will wear people out. Spread it out a little bit.
You saying, Mike, spread this slide out a little bit?
No. Spread your effective frequency out a little bit. So the effective frequency is what we were talking about with the UAC. Coming in and saying, hey, Mr. Jones, hey, I know you said you want to get other estimates, but when our customers see we have hundreds of thousands of customers all over the country, right in your neighborhood that we've taken care of and serviced for years, most of them, as long as we can get the price right, go ahead and go with us while we're out here. I didn't say they had to. Who did I say did? Most of the what? Other customers. I didn't say they had to. I just said other people do. Is that not true? Have you ever not been on one that said they were getting other estimates and they went ahead and bought from you while you're out there? That's true. All you're doing is pointing out that it exists. And all you do is get them 1 out of 7 times to go, yeah, you got a point. And
So you're bringing that up early on that they're going to buy from you, in a sense, or they buy today, in a sense.
Absolutely.
That's where you're going.
Isn't that what you want?
Yeah, absolutely.
Then why wouldn't you talk about it?
I talk
Think about that, right? Isn't that crazy? This is men for us, right?
Yeah.
You women plug your ears. Y'all been seeing this for years. We know what we want. We just won't talk about it. We just stand there. Boy, she looked good over there. Man, I wish she would walk over this way and I'd let her walk by. Maybe if I stare at her long enough, she won't think I'm a creep. You got to go ask for what you want. It's not going to come. Anything in this life ever just fell in your lap, just came to you that was really, really good? Somebody just thought, hey, you know what? I just got you $100,000. Here you go. It don't come that way. I'm sure you would. See, so what we're talking about is whatever you want to happen, whatever you think they need to hear, you got to tell them it. Because what we do is we say stuff like this, right? Let me listen to the difference in using effective frequency and using UAC versus just pitching the slide. And we think, problem is us, right? That's what we love about this. We can make this a science and make the problem about us. That's how you get better. You can't fix the customer. Impossible. I mean, we've all ran them leads, right? You ran a couple of them lately.
Yeah.
You can't fix that. You can only fix you. And if you think you ran a bad lead, come on. I've been doing this.
No, I bet.
They get worse before they get better. Here's the thing. If we want them to do something, we got to tell them to do it. Because most of our sales reps, we say, hey, listen, we have 100,000 customers throughout the country. That means, hey, we do things right. We make people happy. That's why people love us and people go with us. And the next thing is, and we get out and they say, well, did you tell them that they should go? Yeah, I told them we got 100,000 customers. I told them how we do things. I mean, they just didn't listen. See, how you got kids? You got grandkids? No grandkids yet. You got 4 kids.
Big kids.
Big kids. So you remember when they were little? See, here, let me explain something to you. Hey, how many of y'all got kids in here? All right, if this don't make somebody told it to me this way, this don't make no sense to you, then you got the best kids in the world, which I don't. So let me tell you something. So your kids say they're 8, 10 years old, right? And you walk by the room, and you walk by the bedroom, and you look in there, and you got boys or girls?
Both.
You got both. So one room you pass, there's freaking Barbie dolls and little castles and all this stuff everywhere. The sheets are all over the place. There's little blankets all on top of all the dolls. And you're like, good gracious, it's dirty in there. And then you happen to take one more step, and then you see your boys' room, and you're like, oh, God. He got stank basketball clothes laying in a heap, freaking nasty old food on the side of the bed, chips on the floor. Disgusting, right?
You've been to my house.
Right. Know how they are. Ran a lot of leads. So when we do that, right, how would you get them to clean their room? How would you get them to clean the room? Would you make them clean the room?
I failed as a father.
Oh, well, if you had to do it all over again, how would you get them to clean the room?
I would have started him earlier.
Yeah, you'd come to this boot camp, then you figured it out. So here's what I want you to understand, right? is that if you go by and say, man, your room's dirty, and keep walking, do you think they're going to clean their room? No. Never, not a million years, never going to clean their room. You walk by, man, God, son, your room's dirty. Okay. Now, I say, listen, your room's dirty. You need to clean it. And if you don't clean it, then I'm going to take that PlayStation from you. Then all of a sudden what? Then all of a sudden the room gets clean. Or you say, hey, listen, son, we got people coming over. We can't have a dirty house. Your mother will go crazy, and she will yell at all of us, and we'll all be grounded. So help me out, clean your room, and everything will be okay. Come on, can you help me clean it? And he goes, all right, Dad. But if you just go, your room's dirty, and you walk by, and then mom comes later and goes, did you see their rooms? Yeah, I told them it was dirty. That's what we do as sales reps. That's what we do. And we wonder why it didn't get clean. You know why? Because only 20% of the time you run into the guy who can discern that and clean his room on his own. But listen, 20% of the people ain't going to get you where you need to get. Nobody wants to fail more often than they succeed. That's why effective frequency is important. Hit me up, T. There you go.
All right, Mike. Now, I know you said before, man, that you really wanted to get this thing done. You want to get some other estimates. And right here, man, you can see we've helped hundreds of thousands of customers. Those are your other estimates. They've already done the work for you. So what we want to do is we want to go ahead and do everything we possibly can to make sure that you feel comfortable with this process. So let me show you exactly what we have for you.
Okay. Really good job setting it up. What didn't he do? He didn't convert. He did a really good job, really good job, A, never converted. So the effective frequency is not there. Because she's still thinking, yeah, this is a great company, yeah, this is great, but I probably am still going to get estimates. Do you see how we create that? Do you see why some salespeople close in the 70s and some close in the 30s? Why some up on that award panel did $2.5 million last year, and some didn't. Running the same amount of leads. Some people just didn't do a good enough job of explaining and going through what the people needed to hear. And that's our fault for not helping them. So you let them down. They needed to hear it. You got 35 minutes to let them know what really is going on in this business, and you didn't take the time to do it. 7 times. Let me hear what you got, Connors.
Okay, Mike, so because we are a platinum preferred contract with Owens Corning, what this means is no matter where we're working, we're doing the same high quality job because we have that standard. You can see a map here of all the people we've helped out in this area. And, you know, I know when I got here, you had said that you always get free estimates. And, you know, we've worked with people in the past that have said the same thing. And, you know, when they see how good of a company we are, and they see how many other people that we've helped out in the process, you know, they do something that maybe they've never done before, and they don't even bother with the estimates. They just go ahead and go with us as long as we can fit it in our budget.
That's what I'm talking about right there. That's what I'm talking about right there. Do you see what he did right there? How much longer did that take for him to do that versus what y'all did? 0 more time. Just had a reason to do it. Guys, if you don't take this back from what you're doing, whatever you want them to do, whatever. Hey, if you don't want them to get estimates, you better talk about why they don't need to. Not just about how great your company is. See, salespeople don't want to talk about this stuff. They think if we just go through our thing, it'll just magically disappear. It'll just thin air. Ninja dust, it'll just disappear, right? Doesn't happen. What about a slide like this? How many of y'all got a little slide that starts with the Better Business Bureau in here? Oh, we got a few people got this slide. In my opinion, there is no better slide in any presentation we've created ever or anything I've ever seen to help alter getting other estimates than this slide. I think it's the best, but depends on how you do it. You got this slide? Yeah, you do. I saw it. You didn't have to. You didn't have, I studied John's class, the body language. I knew you were lying. So, go ahead.
Well, Mike, let me tell you a little bit about our company. We are a Better Business Bureau accredited company. We carry an A+ rating, and that's really hard to achieve.
You got facts on here?
Do I have one?
Who you work for? Oh, you might not have this slide. You might not have this slide.
What is it?
Sam, you got this slide. Go for it. Pass it down. The slide with the facts. How many of y'all got a slide with the facts on there? Yeah, most of y'all. Come on, Sam.
You know, the biggest watchdog is the Better Business Bureau. They really keep an eye on this industry. Matter of fact, they say the #1 complaint is our industry, which is kind of startling for modeling contractors. Matter of fact, they did a study one year and found out there was 10.7 million complaints just on remodeling contractors. That beats out bad lawyers, bad doctors, bad restaurants, you name it. The biggest complaint. Well, they found out one of the biggest reasons why was these people that were complaining were part of an 80% of the consumers that had taken the lowest bid. Well, you know what? We don't want to put anybody in that statistic. So we don't let people have to worry about getting other estimates because we know that if you go with a lower bid than Breakout, you got an 8 out of 10 chance of not even getting your job completed. We're not talking about done well, but just finished.
Okay? Not bad. Not a bad job. How many of y'all think he did good? You thought he did? Okay. What did he convert it to? I want you to think about it, right? I want perfection. What did he convert it to? He converted to not getting other estimates. Can we control not getting other estimates in the close? No is the answer to that question. What can we convert in the close, Neil?
Time, interest rate, and price.
Price is something that's very easy to control in the close. Why? What do we use to control price objections in the close? Not financing, that's an F word. You know better than that. The walk of life. Dude, the walk of life controls price objections. So he did a great job pitching that slide until the end. What could he have added? Josh, Agrilius, what could he have added? You don't know. Next. What could he have added, Ramon?
You could have added, so most people when they see these, they really don't feel the need or want to get other estimates as long as we can make it affordable.
There you go, as long as we can make it affordable for them. Isn't that what your customers want? Why don't you just sing to them a little bit? They're not asking for much. They're just asking to make they can feel a little better. Hey, that's why people don't. Hey, when people see these statistics, they don't want to run the risk and getting other estimates. They just want to make sure they can trust us to do the job right and make sure we can fit it in their budget. That's all they want. That'd be 2, effective frequency. So think about how you feel right now after 2 of them. Think about it, right? That's just 2 slides. How many of y'all got, assume y'all got more than 2 slides in your pitch? Most of y'all probably got 20 to 30 slides in your pitch. I only need 7. 1/3. I don't need all of them, just need 7. But you're making that little, hey, Rodney said, y'all seen Rodney before, how's he say, hey, we call the objection an elephant, right? And how's he say to eat an elephant? 1 bite at a time. Effective frequency is that bite.
Do you ever put it in your video? As far as the effective frequency, trying to slide it in there?
You can. Different meeting, but you can. Yes, sir.
Is there a way to, I know there's different words for like when you're converting like affordable or as long as the price is right or budget, but is there a way to use their words other than repeating them 7 times in the slide?
You can change the words around. Google the word, pop up a little tool for you. It's called a thesaurus. I know that you a little young, so that might be a little old school for you, but they sell them at Barnes & Nobles right next to the Rodney Webb books if you want to go in there and get one. Affordable, fit in their budget, as long as they can pay for it, as long as it's not breaking the bank. Doesn't matter how you say it. Say what you would say. But if you're only doing it 7 times through 30 slides, it's not going to get repetitive. All right, Sam, do it again and do it with that ending. With some energy, Sam.
So the Better Business Bureau is a really big watchdog in this industry. They keep an eye on everything, make sure everybody's doing what they're supposed to. Matter of fact, they did a study, and the #1 complaint on the Better Business Bureau is actually our industry, which is remodeling contractors. Now that's kind of a startling fact. Matter of fact, there was 10.7 million complaints just on our industry when they did this study. Now, they said, well, why are there so many complaints? What's going on? They said that 80% of the consumers that were part of that number were those that had taken lower bids. Well, earlier you mentioned that you were thinking about getting some other estimates. Well, we find that people that take other estimates lower than GripTop are part of that 8 out of 10 chance of not even getting it done. So, you know, you can be with GripTop, and of course, the people that wanted estimates, eventually they just went with us right off the bat, as long as we're able to fit inside their budget.
Better. Much better. Got to work on it. See, here's the beautiful thing about it. Why was that a little choppy for you, Sam?
I don't do it.
Because you don't practice it, right? Most of y'all right now, this is going to be really hard for you to take back and do. You know why? Because y'all in your same groove you've been doing for years with your same bad jokes in your same bad places. Y'all that role play together know, oh, here come that friggin' joke. Oh boy, I'm going to giggle at it just so you don't think it's bad. Y'all know what I'm talking about. So you got to change what you're doing a little bit. But I promise you, changing what you're doing will also change your results. Let's talk about another thing that seems to be sales reps just don't really like to talk about very much. We always talk about, I hear all the time, Andy, owner of a big company back here, he was on the big award today, and you ever heard something like, man, Andy, I think our prices are too high, man. If we were just a little bit lower, we'd be more competitive. We'd probably have a better chance. Yeah, regular. Oh, you probably, okay. Y'all reps never say anything like that. Man, if our upgrades were a little cheaper, man, hey, if we could compete with the, the other people are doing it for half of what we're charging. He's trying to keep me from making money. Man, we heard something like that before? See, I kind of look at it like this. How many of y'all know what that is? That's a Ferrari 458 Italian. That's a nice car. Rodney got one. Well, I used it. That's a nice car up there. How many of y'all, let's just poll the audience real fast. How much, you look like you ain't got out of Pampers yet. How much you think that car costs? $50,000. See, he ain't got out of Pampers yet. It cost $50,000 for the car seat. You say 260. What do you think, Gene? 350. What do you think? 380. What do you think? 300. What do you think? 220. What do you think? 300. What do you think? Oh, you've been shopping. What did you think, Judd? 450. So we got anywhere from knucklehead, 50 grand, all the way up to $400,000. But really, most of the adults in here who would actually buy home improvement thought that it was going to be $200,000 to $400,000, $300,000. That's what everybody in here was thinking. Well, what about this? Old pickup truck. Y'all know what this crap costs. Nice new pickup truck. What's it cost, Andy? $65, $70. What do you think? See, I knew they'd know what this is. What do you think, Ramon? What do you? Ramon's crazy. What do you think? 60. What do you think? 80. What? 80, dude. Oh, 80 Canadian. I got you. 60. Listen, my grandfather right now, he died about 8 years ago. He'd hop up, we said 60,000 for a pickup truck, he'd rolled over his grave. Like, shut it back down, I'm gonna go back under. But we all probably are under the assumption that a new pickup truck, a nice one with leather, 4-door, big wheels and tires are gonna be $60,000. Would you say that's probably pretty accurate? Let me show you something real fast. 265,000. I told you were shopping, didn't I? I'm gonna come ride with you. The girls start looking at you. You start driving that thing. 265,000. Is anybody shocked by that? Nobody. I was getting my truck serviced the other day. I was walking through the dealership, made me decide to do this. That pickup truck right there is $109,900. How many of y'all got shocked by that? How many of y'all ready to buy that $100,000 truck? Not one of you. Now hold on a second. Hold on. No. See, what we see is what we believe. Every one of us in here were like, yeah, 265. Some of y'all probably like, dang, that's a deal. Some of y'all thought that. Dang, that ain't that bad. Dang, I'm going to save up. I'm going to holler at Jimmy Long. Maybe hook me up. But almost everybody's reaction when I was walking from the front to the back on that $109,000 pickup truck was like, good gracious. Every one of us. This is the big one, guys. This is the one that separates big-time producers from people who just get by. Because most of us, when it comes to price, right? Because this is what we're talking about is price conditioning. We've been price conditioned to believe that Ferrari should cost $200,000 to $300,000. We just believe that. That's just what it is. And we've actually become price conditioned to believe that trucks should be $40,000 to $60,000. My grandfather wouldn't believe you, but we believe it at that point. Why do we believe it? Because we go on a lot. We look it up online. We check it out. We look at how many different mediums. Hey, we got construction people in here. How many of y'all in the last friggin' year have looked at what the price of pickup trucks are? Raise your hand. I guarantee you there's some people in here that have looked up prices of pickup trucks. So guess what? Did you only look at one place? No, you looked at here, you looked at there. You probably looked at 7 or 8. And after 7 or 8 times looking at prices, guess what you started believing? I was trying to drop the mic, but not like that. You guys started believing at what a pickup truck costs. You read it over 7 different things, 7 different medias, 7 different locations, and after reading 45, 55, 60, 65, 55, 65, you're like, dang, pickup truck should cost $60,000. And when I told you it was 109, some of y'all would have called me a liar. Think about it. Because when it comes to price and talking about price, because how many of y'all in here know that your price is more expensive than your competitors? Okay, so let's just get that out of the way. It ain't going to change. Because if anything, it's going to get more expensiver. I don't know if that's a word, but that's what Rodney calls it. Expensiver is a word. He would not hurt me for that. Because this is what we started talking about price, and here's what happens right here. Y'all just gone. Oh, price. Hey, boss. They said if we could match the other guy's price, we could. Hey, it's the big bad wolf. I'm here to tell you. But this price thing subscribes to the rule of 7 also. The very same rule of effective frequency. Because let me ask you guys, how many times do you talk about your price being higher than your competitor? Once? I know when you talk about it. Most of the time? Once?
Through the presentation, at least 3 times. Yeah.
Most people are at between, well, they think they're between 3, but between 1 and 4 times. Most people that work with us, where do they talk about it? They talk about it at Kelly Blue Book Remodeling Magazine slide. That's when you talk about it. Everybody know what slide I'm talking about? That's most of the time where you talk about it. And that's all. Hey, but I told them that the average roof was going to be $22,481. So I did what I was supposed to do. It didn't work. Just like that one time you told your daughter to clean the room, or that one time you told your son, not to leave the milk out, or the one time you told, doesn't work. Tell him one time. Unless you got perfect kids or a perfect customer. And how many got those? 0. Because y'all salespeople, y'all can't create perfect kids. Y'all jacked up enough on your own. It is what it is. I'm one of them. I want you to think about that. We're only talking to them about that our prices are going to be higher and justifying our prices being higher 1 to 2 to 3 times throughout a 30-slide presentation, yet we expect them at the end to believe they should pay more? How crazy is that? You know why people don't do it? They think if they don't say anything, it'll go away. It does not go away. I don't care what product you're selling. How many products y'all sell, Andy?
Oh, too many.
Hey, is only like a couple of the products that the people think it's too expensive, or is all of them? Okay.
Especially if you're a new guy. For the older guys, don't worry about price anymore.
That's a beautiful thing. See, what I want you to think about is in our effective frequency, we can do it everywhere. Reese, you knew. What they call you up in Indiana?
They call me Greasy Cowboy.
They call him the Greasy Cowboy. So let's see what he got.
All right, Mike.
Right here is a slide just stating that we are fully insured to protect you. Bone Dry Roofing does have a $5 million umbrella policy, just to make sure that everything around the home is secured.
He's a dirty, greasy cowboy. I want you to think about that. Did he do a good job letting people know we have insurance? Yes. But someone having insurance, is that going to affect me going, dang, you're expensive? Way more than twice the other guy. Not going to happen. It's not. Hey, especially important with storm roofing. Why? Why is it so important with storm roofing, guys? Because somebody else out there, what's their price? Free. You way more expensive than free. So let's think about that. What other roofers we got in here? You got some roofers? All right, what you got? Oh, we got Tulsa in the house. Tulsa don't like Bone Dry, done slid over there, so he gonna show you what's up.
Now, Mike, this is our insurance protection that we have for you. This is one area where a lot of times other people can be cheaper than me. A lot of times they're cheaper by having subpar products, subpar labor, or not having the proper insurances. We have 4 times the amount of insurance required by the state of Oklahoma. $2 million in general liability, $1 million in workman's comp, and that's just to protect you. Just if, God forbid, somebody did fall off the roof or something like that, that you're not liable in any way. A lot of guys don't have any insurance. Yeah, they're going to be cheaper than me. And then there's some guys that just have the bare minimum, but the bare minimum barely covers a few broken bones. So they're putting you at risk just to save a little bit of money. The way we look at it is we're going to protect our customers even though it costs us a little bit more. You know, and most customers, when they see that, you know, they really respect that and they go with A-Best.
Okay, I like it. I like it. That's a pretty good job. How do y'all feel right now if you got pitched that? What do you think? Sounds pretty good? How much more expensive should he be?
4 times.
Let me ask you something. Do you think that insurance is going to make him 4 times more expensive? How much more expensive are you than your cheap competitors out there? 6,000. Okay. He said more expensive. If I'm a customer, what's more expensive?
Getting a bad roof.
No. Hold on a second. You buying a shirt. You buying a suit. You got a suit. How much that suit cost?
$1,300 or something.
Hey, $1,300. Rodney got one that's more expensive. How much do you think it is?
I don't know. With the shirt here, probably 7,000.
Or if I said, hey, man, you should go get one. I'll show you a place to get one. It's just a little bit, it's more expensive, but it's nice. Would you expect $10,000? Or $6,000 more?
Not if I didn't know.
You see what I'm saying? See, we stay too vague because we still like Homer Simpson up there. We kind of will dodge on it a little bit and then just moonwalk back out of it. Because the tough talks are tough to have. Often. Until you do them, and then you get the results, and then they're fun to have. I love what you said. Hey, A-Best Roofing, we carry full coverage on insurance. This is a place where people try to cut costs and cut your price, and you end up paying for it. Because listen, Mr. Jones, it's not required to have insurance if you don't have enough employees. So people come out, they put you at risk, your family at risk, your biggest investment at risk, and you know what? They come in and say, well, I can be $3,000, $4,000 cheaper than him. If something happens to you and you lose your house or it gets flooded, $3,000, $4,000 ain't going to do very much. Most people, when they see that, they're not willing to take the risk. And as long as they can afford what we got in our 27 years in business, they just go with A-Best, even though it might cost them thousands of dollars more. Think about it. You run a lead and say that 7 times. What's going to happen? You probably aren't going to get a price objection. You might get a negative pre-close, but you're not going to get a price objection. If you do it the right way, you know what the number one thing I hear? When you really put effective frequency into price conditioning, dang, that ain't as bad as I thought it was going to be. Man, that's a deal. And it is a deal, guys. I think y'all forget that. For what you provide people, how you provide, the kind of companies you are, the way you stand behind things, it is a deal. How many of y'all sell roofing in here? How many of y'all been on a roof, 5 or 10 years old, already messed up, need to be replaced? Did they get a deal? No. How many people sell bathrooms or kitchens in here? How many of y'all been in a bathroom or a kitchen, 4 or 5 years old, tore up, don't work, leaking, and freaking they need a new one already? Did they get a deal? Heck no, they didn't. You weren't good enough to go in there and protect them people. That's why you have to use effective frequency. You can't say it once and expect them to believe it. What we do is use that power of 7. Don't say it once. Say it 2 times. Say it 3 times. Say it 7 times.
Hey, Mike, speaking of saying it one more time, could I just hear you insurance slide the way you said that one more time?
Mr. Jones, we carry full coverage on insurance to protect you. And, you know, this is a place where a lot of people skimp. You know, it's not required, unless you have a certain number of full-time employees, which most don't, to carry full coverage insurance. And it's a way a lot of people save money. And, you know, they think they're doing you a favor by not carrying insurance and giving you a better price. And I'm here to tell you, It might be thousands of dollars cheaper. It should be, because you're putting your entire biggest investment at risk and your family at risk. See, our customers, they'd rather pay thousands of dollars more and be protected than take a risk on their family. That's why people do it, as long as we can fit in their budget. Do you see what we're doing here? Yes, sir.
You're converting, you're always saying that same phrase, as long as we can.
As long as the price is right, as long as we can fit in the budget, as long as it's not going to take bread and butter off the table, as long as we can make it affordable for them. I don't care what you say. So I try to convert it to money because money's easy to deal with. And like I said, I started this meeting with saying what? If all of your leads said what? If the price is right, I'll buy from you today, how many would you sell? That's all I want. All I want them to say is, hey, if I can afford this, I'm ready to do it. Answer your question?
So we've talked about converting objections and then price conditioning. Would you do that on the same slide, or would you use one?
I would probably not do it on the same slide. You got to understand, when you make a point, you want to keep moving. So you can do it on multiple slides. And as you get better, we can work you how to pull it together. But hey, pick yourself 6 or 7 slides for one, 6 or 7 slides for the other, and pitch it. And it might change, depending on how you pitch and what slides you like. You got 30. If we add them together, I need half of them. And every one of them you can do it on. You guys got, hey, how many of y'all do storm roofing in here? Dude, you can do it on the adjuster slide. You can do it on anything. But you got to do it and make your point. And see, he did a great job of pitching the slide and talking about that we would be more. But how many people out there, when you're selling deals, don't sell them because you're more? See, you don't sell them because you're a lot more. If you were just a little bit more, you'd sell all of them. Ain't nobody ever missed a deal. They were at $5,000 and they missed it because the other guy was at $4,950. Never in a million years that ever happened. But you missed a lot of them because you were at $5,000, the other guy was at $2,000. Because we didn't warn them about this. Judd, you ought to recognize this slide. You can probably take this one. Get you some of that. Price objection.
So now, Mike, we never set out to be one of the largest roofing contractors. We just do things right, and we take care of our customers, and we've been consistently recognized as a leading contractor. Roofing Contractor Magazine, I'm sure you got that magazine subscription at your house. They've listed us as one of their top 100 roofing contractors 5 years in a row. And again, it's just by doing things right. There's a cost associated with doing things right, and we've really taken it to heart. Angie's List, a little company downtown that has the big building with the high rise. We've won the award every single year it's been in service. And we actually won it before they became Angie's List, when they were still called Band of Neighbors. And again, it's something that we take pride in. We're a part of an elite group. Less than 5% of contractors get awarded the Super Service Award. Again, it's something that just by providing the highest customer service with the highest quality materials and the best labor, we've been able to do. So sometimes we hear we're a little bit higher than other contractors, maybe $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 more. But when most of our customers, the 150,000 customers we satisfied over the years, see what we do and how we do it, they're willing to pay that little bit extra to get it done right.
Nice job, man. Think about that, guys. Give him a hand. If he does that 7 times in his demo, do you think he helps out on price conditioning? Do you think if the people, now you got to think about where we're at, right? They've called your customers, they've warmed up with you, they've seen your inspection videos, they like you. Now you really go out there. Some of you guys can do this, you just don't. See, this isn't a talent, this is a skill. This is scientific. The studies are out there. That effective frequency is not about home improvement. They wouldn't teach a bunch of redneck contractors that stuff. We don't understand all that. They don't teach us that. They teach some guy with a doctorate in marketing that. Well, I'm going to take his stuff and make more money than him with it. But it's the same concept. The same concept of getting somebody to walk in and buy a Big Mac is the same concept to get somebody to come in and buy a more expensive roof. It's exactly the same concept. The same concept that says they don't need to go, they don't need to go to Sports Authority. They can just come to Dick's and we'll handle all their needs. They don't need to shop around. It's the exact same thing. But you got to see it and see it and see it and see it. To where sometimes, now, if you're hungry and you're hungry for something, this happens all the time to people. How long you been living where you're at right now? 14 years. So if you're going to get pizza, where you go?
We usually get Papa Murphy's.
You get Papa Murphy's. Okay, if you're going to get Mexican, where do you go?
We don't have any Mexican.
You don't have any Mexican food where they're at. If you're going, I don't even know what to... If you're going to get a bunch of cheese curds down on Minnetonka, where are you going? Listen, most of us, and that's what's hard, we know, hey, we go pizza, here. Mexican, we're going there. We've just been programmed to it because that's what we do. Even if somebody told us that's what we should do, that's what we do. The question is, are you telling your customers enough? Because from the role play, it sounds like what? Sounds like we're either not telling them or not telling them enough. See, salespeople, what we find is people are afraid to be direct. They're afraid to get in somebody's face and say, listen, you can get it done cheaper and you can be one of them statistics and it's on you. But my customers, when they see what they can get and what they should get, are smart enough to pay more and pay thousands of dollars more to do it right and do it forever. So when thousands of dollars more comes up later in the price, guess what they don't say? Why are you $3,000 more than Home Depot? I can't believe it. Man, I got 3 quotes and you're the highest. You know why they don't say that? Because I already told them. I told them I'd be more expensive. I told them they don't need to get other estimates. I told them why they don't need to get other estimates. I showed them situations where other people don't get other estimates. I showed them situations where other people pay more money. I showed them situations where they paid more money for something. Dude, walk up to the house, learn a little bit about the people. If their kids play travel soccer, they pay more money for quality and lots more money for quality. That ain't travel soccer, is more than a house note for most people. But hold on, they can't pay a little bit more for a roof? Or thousands more dollars for windows? They're at $8 a square foot, I'm at $8.50. I'm never going to get this deal. Come on, man. Do you believe in it? If you believe in it, which I think most of you guys do. How many of y'all think your goods or services are worth it? How many of y'all think your goods and services are worth more than what some of them other people are charging? Then why don't you tell them? If you believe it, right? And you believe what you think. You believe your prices are worth more? So Rodney says selling is a transfer of belief. If you believe it, you got to get them to believe it. But you can't get them to believe it if you don't tell them and they don't hear it. And sometimes it takes more than once, more than twice, more than 3 times, more than 4 times, more than 5 times, more than 6 times. Sometimes it takes all 7 times for them to hear it. See, the science of this is you can do this every time. So there's never, or very rarely, any chance that they don't hear your message. Any questions about that? Yes, sir.
When we're role-playing and practicing, you said in the beginning, kind of space them out a little bit. You don't want to keep hitting every slide.
Yep.
Any rule of thumb of how well to space them out, certain slides that you like?
Absolutely. So here you go. If I'm role-playing and I say, hey, listen, we got an objection. It's other estimates. Tell me the 7 slides you're going to use for effective frequency.
Better Business Bureau. I'm going to do insurance. I mean, the reason I asked is a lot of what you showed, I have a section on our PowerPoint that's back to back. It's literally like back to back to back.
I understand.
Those are the ones that we usually.
So maybe do price on insurance and not other estimates. All right, so keep going. So first thing I'm going to have him do, see, all this stuff come together, right? Y'all think we just say this crap, just hear ourselves talk? There is a part in step 3 called what? Take time to what? Strategize. This is what you're supposed to be doing. This is why we set up that step to introduce this eventually. You should be thinking, what 7 places am I going to price condition? What 7 places am I going to put this objection in here? Plan it out in your head. Take your 10 minutes, think about it for a second, and go in and perform. See, this takes you from being a good salesperson to some of the best in the world. This is not easy. It's not supposed to be easy. Anybody come here for some basic stuff? Most of y'all been doing this a while. I don't think y'all came here to learn the basics. This is stuff that takes you from good to great. This is the stuff that takes you from $1 million a year to $1.5 million to $2 million a year to $2.5 million a year to pacing $3 million a year. Because you know what? I believe that people deserve the best. And our happiest customers are the people who what, Andy? Right. Listen, our happiest customers are the people who paid the most money. When people buy all the upgrades, all the niceties, all the nice stuff you could do for the house, that made it nice with the custom this and the custom that, when you get done with a job, they want to freaking hug you. They love it. They talk about it with their neighbors. They're excited. Hey, you sell $100,000 kitchens over there. Are they, hey, which jobs are your headaches? $14,000 reface. The one that you had to freaking bend over backwards to freaking squeeze to try to make it work, and then they call you every 15 minutes for 45 weeks until they finally, you just say, forget it, I'll give you money back. What we do is we create happy customers. This is how we do it. By setting up expectations. By letting them know it's okay to pay more money. Dude, if you walk into a kitchen, how many of y'all walk into a kitchen and you think your customers are going to think it's going to be $100,000? Not a lot of them. They might think it'd be 40 to 60. They might think it'd be 60 to 80, but very rarely they think it's going to be 100 and actually be 130 before it's all said and done. But you set that up in your pitch, say, hey, you know, we meet people all the time. They spend $200,000 or $300,000 on their kitchen, and they're super happy with it. Now all of a sudden, if I say that, what's 120? That crap's cheap. That's half price. But it's all because you used effective frequency to start stimulating that idea. We use the science to get in that limbic portion of the brain to get people to believe what we believe. And it takes practice and it takes repetition. If we do that, it makes a big difference. Does that make sense? So here we got some prescriptions, all right? Here's what I want you to take away from this class. Number 1, use effective frequency throughout the system to help alter the objection. Use the effective frequency throughout the presentation to help alter the objection. You can't do 7 in a row. You can't do 3 in a row and then 4 in a row. Spread them out. If the objection is, I don't want to have to pay any more than I have to, get on that price conditioning. You might know that's going to be an objection because you walk out there and they say, I got a bid from Home Depot last week. You know they're cheap. You know that's going to be an objection. Use the rule of 7. Use it as a guideline to tell you how many times to use that effective frequency. Now, is 6 okay? Sure. Is 8 okay? Yes. Rule of 7. Shoot to get around 7. We know some people hear it the first 2 times you say it to them. You know what we call them people? The sales you have. Those are the ones you sold. Don't do nothing different. The ones you sold, you'll still get. We're trying to get them extra ones. And the last thing is use UAC to change that objection and alter it into what you want it to be. Because if you tell somebody something and you alter it into what you want it to be, you put yourself in a much better position to sell them all and help everybody. Listen, this is scientific, guys. This isn't an accident that it happens. Our results aren't on accident. Your close rate isn't an accident. Your success isn't an accident. What I want you to leave here doing is thinking about, what's my pitch sound like? How much am I talking about what's killing me? And how do I fix it? Any questions, comments, or concerns? All right, next breakout, guys. Thank you very much.